Welcome viewers to Historical Journeys. Auguste Mariette, a French Egyptologist, walks up to a tower of massive boulders in 1851, ready to use explosives on them. However, once the explosion's dust settles, Mariette discovers an extraordinary subterranean labyrinth that dates back more than 3,000 years. The enigmatic stone boxes she discovers within the structure are amazing, even if they present a seemingly intractable puzzle. Scientists are baffled by the man's discovery of strange boxes beneath Egypt. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. It only takes a second, and you won't miss any of our future videos. Let's get started. Specifically, Mary said, an old necropolis called Saqqara Serapeum has been exhumed. This milestone is situated around 15 miles south of Giza, home of Egypt's most well-known pyramid ruins. The underground entombment structure is a passage floor dove into the mountain rock. Presently, off this corridor is a progression of rooms. This room contains an enormous stone chest that makes Serapeum exceptionally special. Confronted with everything on, this has yet to be addressed. What are these enormous boxes? In any case, the French government requested that Mariette go to Egypt to track down the best instances of antiquated texts in the Coptic Arabic Syrian mystical practice. The French needed this thing for their historical center assortment, which was known as one of the world's best. Be that as it may, when Mariette previously went to Egypt in 1850, her central goal was fruitless. All things considered, Mariette didn't figure it would be a disgrace to get back to France with basically nothing. It appears to be that these desert Bedouins drove Mariette to a brilliant revelation that guaranteed the eternality of her name. Normally, the Bedouins assumed Mariette to a position south of Cairo called Saqqara. This gigantic site was once the necropolis or cemetery for the city and for Memphis, the one-time capital of antiquated Egypt. And Saqqara is where a large number of Egypt's most popular structures from days of yore stand, with the well-known Pyramid of Djoser and its particular step structure among them. Yet when Mariette was directed to the site by the cordial Bedouins, he was not exactly dazzled. In time, however, he detected the head of one sphinx looking out over the ground. Naturally, Mariette, fussily, accepted that it merited searching for this old construction, and he started his hunt not a long way from the Pyramid of Djoser, following an imagined line of sculptures to be the entry to the Serapeum. It appears, as a matter of fact, that Mariette had a genuinely clear thought of what he was searching for, and that may be in every way down to a Greek antiquarian called Strabo in his 1882 bookless, A Rapim to Memphis. You see, the French globetrotters cited Strabo's portrayal of the Serapeum of Saqqara and its environmental elements. Stable thought of one finds a sanctuary to Serapis in such a sandy spot that the breeze stacks up the sand rises. We saw sphinxes beneath these, some half buried and some buried all the way to the head, suggesting that the path to this temple must be dangerous. Then at that point, remarking on Strabo's message, Mariette pined. Did it not appear to be that abnormal Gracious had composed this sentence to assist us with rediscovering after north of 18 centuries? The popular sanctuary committed to Serapis questioning it was unthinkable. This covered sphinx, the buddy of 15 others whom I met at Alexandria and Cairo, with whom, as per proof, shaped piece of the road prompting the Serapeum of Memphis. Yet to finish his unearthings of the area, Mariette required a group of laborers, even whenever he had selected 30 neighborhood people for the main job. However, he concluded that something other than human work was required. After Mariette recognized what he accepted was the entry to the Serapeum, he was met by an invulnerable mass of rock, and tragically, this obstruction couldn't be taken out manually. At last, then, the cunning Frenchman concluded that a decent measured blast was the response that might appear to be risky, and shooting your direction into an uncommon and old site would scarcely satisfy the demanding guidelines of present-day prehistoric studies by the same token. So in 1851, Mariette at last remained at the entry of the Serapeum of Saqqara. However, there was Additionally, a practically flawless to one that had a place with sovereign Kim was it brought into the world in around 1303 BC. Ken was it had downpoured as pharaoh from 1279 BCE until his demise at the time of around 90 and 1213 BC, and his stone casket had really been tracked down under the heap of rock that the impact had made. The hallway and fundamental offices of the Serapeum are the bigger sepulchres, while the second section with specialties is known as the more modest graves. A number of chambers in which chests have been discovered are located adjacent to the vestibule of the larger vault, which extends for 1,100 feet. In addition, Ken ordered the construction of smaller barns on his own. Around then, the pharaoh was just a sovereign, since his dad Ramus was the second individual to lead over Old Egypt. Around 600 years after the fact, the pharaoh Sam was quick to arrange the development of bigger stockrooms. The coffin has removable covers, commonly gauging 60 to 80 tons or more, each cut from a solitary section of stone. At the end of the day, examination into the convictions and strict acts of the Egyptians at the time the site was fabricated uncovered the basic role of these huge chests. As a matter of fact, it seems to have been a graveyard for dead cows. These are an extraordinary old bulls. Even bulls are consecrated. Individuals around then accepted that the bull was the resurrection of their god. Upon death, the creature accepted the character of the composite god Osiris and Ipi and became undying. Cerberus is the name given to the combination of Osiris and Epi, hence the name M. As a matter of fact, Pharaoh Ptolemy I requested the two Egyptians and Greek vanquishers to venerate Cerberus. This request occurred in the 3rd century BC, 400 BC, when a ruler was keen on binding together a different group, and one way he said that was for the two sides to follow a similar god. However, in order for these buried bulls to be regarded as a part of a therapist, they needed to possess extremely unique characteristics. The creatures must be both highly contrasting, with explicit markings on their skin. Also, their sight subtleties what precisely French wayfarer Antoine Fellow-Gem made the EPI bull. Fellow-Jewel makes sense of that the bull must be high contrast with a white midsection. However, at one point, he was the only sacred bull worshipped. During this period, clerics additionally concentrated on creature conduct to find out about God's will. After the EPI bull kicked the bucket, it was then ceremonially preserved and taken from its home in the city of Memphis to Saqqara, where it was untamed. Additionally, these sacred bulls were extremely significant to the Egyptians. A chase will then start to find a supplanting bull with reasonable actual qualities, and clerics will be sent the nation over. On looking for a bull with the appropriate markings, a true EPI bull, according to the ancient Egyptians, must come from a cow that has given up producing calves. Be that as it may, ultimately, an electrical discharge strikes the mother and a heavenly kid is conceived. In any case, not every person accepts that these colossal rock boxes were the stone coffins of the sacrosanct EPI bull. To start with, you will find the size of the cases unusual, as they were all a lot bigger than needed to hold the preserved shells. At last, this implies that nobody has at any point seen the preserved remaining parts of a cow in any of these alleged stone caskets. As a result, they will assert that there is insufficient evidence to establish that the boxes contained sacred animals. What's more, in spite of the fact that Marriott found preserved shells from the Saqqara site, they were not in these stone vessels. The 28 animals he discovered, on the other hand, were housed in much smaller wooden coffins. Fellow-Jewel additionally thought about how the huge stone compartments came to Serapeum Saqqara in any case. In any case, Wild Person Gem wouldn't even play with the possibility of recommending an elective utilization of stone boxes. One more uncommon clarification can be viewed as on the Antient Starting Point site. In a 2018 article for his site, Konstantin Borisov not just notes that the containers were a lot bigger than the dishes, however he likewise questions why no embalmed creatures were seen as inside. Fellow-Jewel, obviously, addressed both of these places. However, Borisov goes considerably further and proposes that the crates were really Goliath electrical batteries. Is it safe to say that they were truly antiquated model batteries? Or on the other hand, would they say they were truly stone coffins where the old Egyptians set their hallowed dishes? Thanks for watching. If you want to stay updated with our latest videos, subscribing is the way to go. Just click that red button below and become a part of our channel family.